Most people are scared of auto layout because the first time they start using it, it doesn't behave the way they expect. It just breaks. That's why they are scared. So, your most dangerous, the deadliest tool feature of Figma, auto layout. No more going to be scary. So, to learn this, first I'll have to tell you a story. Yes, once upon a time, there was this king, Raja, right? The king has basically as a kingdom, okay? And there are a lot of people in this kingdom. Fine. But this king is a mad king. Mad king. Okay? There is a problem with this king. I'll talk about it. So what this king used to do is the king used to say, okay, come on, king naturally will want to go and fight. Okay? So the king used to go on war. And sometimes the king used to win. What happens when you win? You get more land, correct? So what happened? You used to capture the land. And what happened? More land used to come. Correct? He used to kill everyone in that land. So what can happen? The same people can now live in that larger land. Correct? But he's a mad king. Every time he won't fight the same way. Sometimes he loses the war. So what happens? His kingdom shrunk. Correct? He used to say, live. Still in that only you live. The same population now has to live in that limited space only. Correct? Sometimes you used to suddenly say, from other kingdom, some 200 people are going to come. Please give them space. So people used to start living here itself. And these people used to adjust themselves. Correct? So what happened is, once upon a time, the people said, my dear Raja, we are not able to live here. We will overthrow you. We will not listen to you anymore. So these people said, let us kill the king. Let us bring in elections, whatever. We will decide how much land we want. We won't let the king decide. They said, we'll be fair. If only 10 people are there, we'll use only this much land. If 100 people are there, we'll use more land. Story of auto layout is done. This is auto layout. Simple. Okay, let me explain. So what is happening over here is, imagine all these people to be they are your UI elements, correct? All these components or all these UI elements are these people. Now, in your screen, there are literally only few possibilities. Either you say, hey, you know what? This is your screen. Live there. Make yourself there. They'll have to adjust themselves within that screen and find a space to live. Correct? Your elements have to find a space to live. If there is more space, the elements can go and find more space. If there is less space, the elements have to adjust themselves in that land which they have. And that can happen. Let us say some new elements are introduced. Again, they have to adjust themselves in that space, whatever space they have. That is possible. Correct? Now, but it can also happen that the elements themselves decide how much space they need. Possible? No. If less elements are there, less space they'll occupy. More elements are there, more space they'll occupy. Correct? So, instead of we as people trying to decide how should the space be organized, or in other words, this practice of organizing space and understanding relative positions, what is it called as? Layout. We studied about this today, correct? The meaningful relationship between multiple elements together is actually called as layout. If we take a decision about how the respective positioning should be on a particular element, that is self-layout. Designer design layout, right? But if they decide, if either this Raja decides or the Praja decides, and by themselves they'll organize, it is called as auto layout because it's happening automatically. Correct? Enough of these stories, Sandeep. Please show it in Figma. I'm telling you. You have this understanding. It is so simple. It's just going to wipe off all that complicated mental blocks you had. Why? Because all these days, you're so scared about auto layout because you're scared of using tools in the first place. Most people are scared of auto layout because the first time they start using it, it doesn't behave the way they expect. It just breaks. That randomly something happens. That's why they're scared. But what was the first step we did? We wanted to break the tool. We didn't want it to work like what we want. Now we are not scared anymore, right? So let's do this in Figma now. So now, look at, so what we're trying to do is, there are 3 Praja over here. There are 3 icons sitting over here. So what I want to do is, I want to go and say, I want to enable the Raja to dictate how the Praja are going to be organized. So what I'm going to call, so this I want to is actually called as the layout goal. Before touching auto layout, you must have a layout goal. Please note this down. Auto layout is confusing and it doesn't behave the way you want only if you do not have the layout goal. Now, I've given you few layout goals. What are the layout goals I've given you? The Raja decides, or the box, right? The box decides how the icons are organized. Correct? Can there be another kind of a layout goal? What will it be? The icons will decide how the box is organized. Correct? These are 2 layout goals which you can have, right? Simplistic layout goals. But as you keep going forward, you will have very complicated layout goals also. Because if you see what is possible, you will have better goals. Let us try and do it. Okay? Lucky for us, Figma has made it very easy for us, even more easy for us. You don't even have to be scared. Anyway, so let us first bring these icons. Okay, where are these icons? Some icons are there over here. They are saved as components. So I am copying them. I am putting them over here. Okay. I'm putting them over here. 3 icons right now. Okay. So what is the first goal? Icons are there. The box is how the icons are organized. I'll apply auto layout. I'll click on this icon called as auto layout. In the layout, it says use auto layout. I'm clicking on use auto layout. Something happened. Don't worry. Let us see what's going to happen there. So what do I want? I want the Raja to decide how the icons are spaced. Let me do it. No, the box is not deciding how the icons are spaced right now. It's not happening. So this Raja deciding how the icons behave is actually called as what? So these 3 icons are there. I'm applying auto layout. First, let us actually apply this goal because that is actually automatically happening. Okay. Icons are there. The icons are deciding how the box is organized. Let us actually give a color to the box also, just for us to understand the box. I'm putting one red color. No, actually it's looking very bad. I'm giving this green color to the box. Okay. Now icons are going to decide how the box is going to behave. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add more icons. I'm going to duplicate this icon. See, I added one more icon. What did happen? So previously, how was it? This icon was not there, right? The box is only this much. I added one more icon. I want to add one more icon. Let us say, what will happen? The box is increasing, correct? So that is achieved. So what is actually happening over here is the property which is assigned for this behavior to happen is actually called as hug. Okay. You have the contents. So the Raja is saying, the Raja is deciding whatever the Praja says, I will accept. I'll increase the territory according to me. That actually is called as hug. Okay. So if you put the hug option, whatever is there inside, basis that it will go and occupy the space. But the space has 2 parts to it. What are those parts? One is the element itself. If you see that there is an element itself. But the elements also have a space in between them. Correct? So the elements and their space decide the size of the box. That means the Praja and the distances they have given between themselves, social distancing, decides the box. So can I go and change it? So it is hug, correct? Very good. How is it working? Is there some spacing over here? Yes, there is a spacing over here, right? So I'll make that space as 100. They've decided to give 100 spacing to one another. See? So basis the change of space, here also I can change, right? Basis how much I want the change of space, the box is increasing or decreasing. Or the number of items, correct? The number of items or the spaces. Both are what are they doing? The box is changing. So that is one way of doing auto layout. But why? Depends on you, right? It depends on which layout goal you have. How you want the UI to behave is your decision. If you ask me, Anudeep, when will I decide Praja decides Raja or Raja decides Praja? You understand it basis your layout goal, your situation on the screen. Got it? When we get to a real screen, you'll understand it much better. Now, Now, what do you want? You want the Raja to decide Praja, next goal. How do we do it? How do we do it now? So basically, if you observe over here, right now the space and the number of elements is dictating how the box should be, correct? But now you want to say the box should change these things. So there are two things which can happen. What are those things which can happen? Tell me, guys, by common sense. If I change the box, two things can change automatically. Distances between the praja, they can change automatically. Correct? What else can happen? Some one or two praja can be killed also. That's also possible. The praja can also relocate. All these are possible. Correct? So let's see how to make all these things possible. First, the spacing should automatically change. Right now, I have decided how much spacing should be given, but I don't want to do it. I don't want this Raja itself to be in a hug position. I want it to be a fixed width. I will change it. But then you change your spacing. Don't be a fixed value. That's why I'm going to make it as auto. Right? Now what will happen? You change 300 or 400 or 100. See? Whatever I give the value, space is automatically changing because this is auto. See, it says auto. It doesn't give a specific value. So if I change the value, it is automatically going and changing it. Yeah? Both the rules. Now, what else can happen? How else can Praja reorganize themselves? One is spacing. What else can Praja do? Look at this. Freeform, vertical, horizontal, grid. Okay? Let us explore these things. What will happen? Let us see. Vertical. The Praja have decided to stack vertically. Right? Here, the box, vertically it says hug. So it doesn't make sense. I'll put fixed height. Vertical. Vertical spacing mein, it says 85. I'll make it auto. Correct? Now, see, this is vertical. The same thing was horizontal also we'll put. This has to be fixed and we made this auto. Now this is horizontal. Horizontally I can do. Vertically also I can do. Both ways it is sorted. This is Raja deciding Praja. Even in Praja deciding Raja, can we do both horizontal and vertical? This is horizontal, correct? Can we make it vertical? Shall we do that? We'll make a copy of it and show. Yes. Add one more, let's say delete. See, reduce vertical space. Delete. Add more, keep doing. Right? See, both possible, vertical and horizontal, both ways. Parent deciding the children and the children deciding parent, both are happening. Done. Right? Now there is one more thing called as a grid. What does this grid do? Shall you see it? What do you predict to happen when you click on grid? It will come as rows and columns, right? Now let me decide 4 into 2, right? So whatever I put will now keep going only into those rows and columns in a table only. What else can happen over here if not these grids? Let's say I'm moving this. One way is I am basically having auto, right? Space is automatically changing. What else can happen? Some dogs can come down. That is actually enabled by this feature called as wrap. You enable it. Now see, without changing the spacing, the moment you're putting it down, few of those dogs are actually coming down. Awesome. Okay. So different ways in which Raja is deciding the Praja. Or in other words, you can only decide the actual spacings and decide how the Raja, how the outside box will behave. Done, that is auto layout. If you observed here, we said either fixed height or hug contents. But there's one more thing which will get enabled, if at all. You put this in another screen, which is called as fill contents. So remember I said the people will decide to take how much ever space which is there. So we'll put one frame over here and we'll put this auto layout box which is there over here. Now I will say, dear Raja, right now there is this another king. There is a global king. In Telugu we call Chakravarti. So this is this king of king. And then there is this king. I'll say, I will decide. You don't decide. You listen to whatever I say. So that is when this new option will come. That is called as, where is it? Oh, this also should be an auto layout first. Now this new option will come. It says fill container. Whatever the parent container says, you listen. Whatever space is there, you occupy. And for these also I'm telling, whatever space, auto, you occupy. Look at what is happening. Do you see the whole thing layout automatically changing basis? The Chakravarti is nothing but your screen. So just by deciding how your elements will behave, we have literally achieved auto layouting of elements on the screen basis your screen size. Correct? Shall we do it to actual UI elements? Shall we do it that way? Let us take this screen only. Let us take our screen. I'm taking this actual screen over here, and I'm going to delete the things for now. Later I'll put these things. These icons are there over here. Correct? Now I'll apply auto layout from the start. I'll remove auto layout right now. Okay. So there are 3 icons. Okay, I'm going to rename them. Icon 1, icon 2, icon 3. 3 icons are there. So all 3 icons, I'm going to put them in one group, and I'll change this group to frame. I'll change, and I'll apply auto layout, and I'll call it as icon. These are navigation, so I'll call it as nav bar. Cool. Now, how do I want it to behave? What is my layout goal here? Tell me. What is the layout goal? Right? If screen size changes, the icons rearrange the spacing between them. Correct? It is also possible that your layout goal can be, I'll give it, for that also I'll establish. Let us say image also I'll put over here. So image is there. For the image, I will have a different layout goal. I will say this image, instead of like how they are rearranging, it should not be like that. For the image, my layout goal will be, if the screen changes, the image continues to be in the center of the screen. Possible, no? That means if you are pulling this, the image should continuously stay in center only. This should not happen. What is happening here? The image is stretching along with the Raja. I don't want it. Whatever I stretch, the image should be the same size, because it is not making sense, this dog. But it has to be in the center. So these are the 2 different layout goals I have over here. So come on, let us achieve those 2 layout goals. These icons right now, if the screen is changing, are they repositioning themselves? They are not doing. How do I get that? Automatic in spacing, right? How do I do that? Correct. Very good. Let us give auto. But then something happened, right? Width set fixed for nav bar. This nav bar, it got fit to, width is set to fixed. Should it be fixed? What do you want? Should this be fixed? Change? It will not change. See? It's not changing. Why? Ideally, it should be as fill container, because I want you to listen to the Chakravarti. But that will come only if you enable the auto layout to the entire screen itself. So I'm enabling auto layout to the screen. Now, some gajimiji happened. Don't worry. We have layout goals with us. We will correct this. Let's not be scared. We are not scared of tools. At the max, we'll make one more copy. We'll forget about this. Yeah? So a lot of random things happened. First of all, where is this back icon coming from? Let's delete it. Okay, suddenly, the whole thing is touching one top of the screen. We'll come to that part. Firstly, what is our layout goal? Icon should rearrange in the spacing. So we'll go to this nav bar and we'll tell it, please go and, instead of fixed, go and make a fill container. I kept it. Let me change and see. Nice. That goal is achieved. Correct? Clear until here? What is the next layout goal? This image should stay in the center only. It should not stretch like this. So what I do? I go to this image and say what? Right now it is fill container. But I will say use fixed width. So you use fixed width and say, okay. Now what is happening? The image is not resizing, but it is only in the center. It's not in the center. It's only on the left. So what do? There should be some way to dictate that all the elements should be in the center. Correct? So looks like there is a diagram here. Very simple. It says Keep everything in center or keep everything in the left? How do you want me to keep? No problem, Ra. Keep it in the center. I'm saying center. Now let's resize and see. Center mein hunda? It's there in center. Achieved. 2 layout goals achieved. Come on. Other layout goals we'll have. This is touching literally the border. It should not. You should give some space. So what do we do? Let us add that particular, what is called as padding. So basically the Raja decides to go and draw some additional spacing or borders. That is called as padding. One was spacing, another one is padding. Let us decide that. It is given here. Sides and top and bottom. See, it's called as padding. How much space I want on the top? If you are an expert, you will know some value. But anyway, I'll give some 40. So it's a 40. See, when I added that value to the top, and even the bottom, it got added. So 40 spacing is given from the top. Only top I want to add, no problem. You can do that also here. Let me not complicate it, but anyway, you can do that. This is 0, this is 40. Okay, come on. Tell me the next layout goal. Let us literally build the whole screen now. Right? Where should this dog image be? This is the final reference. Okay, let's keep this reference with us. It should be at a 40 space. Actually, even this is at 24 space. So let me decrease that padding I gave to 24. So this should basically be at 163. Should I move it? Oh shit, it's not moving. Because what auto layout does is, it will decide the layout. Let us say these images are their dog images. It will decide the layout. It is deciding what is the space and all that stuff. So when you try to move it, it will only change the relative positions between them. Look at what will happen if I try to change moving this. I click on the left arrow. The dog went and sat on the other position and automatically everything else got rearranged. Because it will decide. The same way, when I'm trying to move this image up, it is going and redistributing itself. No, that's not how I change it. This change should be decided by the spacing between these two elements. So how do we achieve that? Let us take these two things, the nav bar and the image. Let us take these two things. Apply one more auto layout for them. Click on auto layout. I'm giving you a new Raja. There is one more Raja, but for you both, one more Raja. I'll tell you 40 space. Now, these both have one Raja. They are under one more Raja called home. Possible? In this way, I can continuously keep on adding multiple sub-Rajas. I can do that. This is actually called nested auto layout. If you keep applying auto layout inside, keep adding more Rajas to control. It's very simple, guys. The entire Raja in our story has decided that he will give more Rajas inside who will control their own smaller kingdoms. Basically, nests, smaller nests. That's why it is called as nested auto layout. So, for these two, I have one more nest. For this, I have one more. This is in auto layout. These two are in auto layout. Everything combined is in auto layout. Simple. Come on, next one. What shall we do? This text should be there. So let's bring in these texts. Let us write the text. Bruno. One more text is there. It says what? HSR sector 7. Okay. What is the font size and all? Should I manually do it? I don't have to, because I've already saved all of these as templates. Very simple for me. I have to go to here and click and say, what is this? Is the heading, subheading, body, heading. This is what? Subheading. See, already style, I applied the style and the font size changed. Correct? Now, these two are right now following the rules of the bigger Raja, the Chakravarti. I don't want them. They have to follow their own rules. I'll select both of them and apply auto layout again. What is their rules? Look at here. What is the layout goal? They should both be at what spacing? 8 spacing. Correct? And they should be at the left side. Correct? 24 space on the left side. The screen automatically already gave 24 padding on the left. I already gave it. Correct? So I have to say that this needs to go to the left. But this image is the center. No worries. I will first ask this box to fill the entire width. I'll say fill container. Great. Okay. Now in this box, where are they? Left side. Give left side. What is the spacing between both of them? 8. Right? Now, what should the spacing of this be? 24. This is 40. Right? Now what I'll do is, this image and this are in 40, but this and this should be in 24. So clashing. I can't create one auto layout for this and one auto layout for this. So what will I do? I will take this, I'll remove this auto layout. Look at what I'll do. I'll remove this auto layout and ungrouping it. If I ungroup it, auto layout is gone. Or I can click on this also. I've ungrouped it. I've taken this auto layout. I've taken this, copied it, or let us say I've cut it, put it in this particular frame. Manually, I'm adjusting it for now, right? Now I have a revised layout goal because my previous layout goal was not sufficient for me. It did not work accordingly. I will put this image and this Bruno in an auto layout. I will define what was the space? 24. So I will define that these two will be in the space of 24. I've decided that. This particular whole thing, along with the nav bar, both of them together will be in the outside auto layout. I'll apply auto layout once more again. What was the spacing? 40. Done. So why am I doing this? Because I know more elements can come over here which are going to follow similar spacing. I'm going to come. So I have put these three also in auto layout. Correct? These icons. If I can bring these icons, I'll just show that also to you. Okay, these are 3 icons. I'll remove auto layout and all. Right? 3 icons are there. I'm bringing all these 3 icons together in auto layout. Remove the wrap. All 3 should be aligned in this particular manner. How should they be aligned? Can you tell me the layout goals, guys? Come on, quickly. What is the layout goal here? All 3 should be center aligned. So therefore, I'll put this. Okay, what else? So the icons are dictating the box. Fine. So let's call it as hug. Correct? Very good. Now, what should the spacing be between them? 40. So shall I give 40? It's already there. 40 spacing is already there. So I'm going to call this as actions. So take these actions. I'm putting it in the screen. The screen already has auto layout. See, the whole screen basically has auto layout right now. The home. Inside that, there is a smaller kingdom, which I'll probably call it as content. Inside this, one more kingdom, call as image and actions. Which kingdom does this actions belong to? Image and actions. Correct? That's the advantage of auto layout. That is, you already decide the layout goals. For new elements, you don't have to manually you have to do anything else. You just have to decide where it goes. Simple. Take these actions, decide it goes to this particular auto layout. Oops, it went to this. No worries. I'll put it down. But this should be in the center. Correct? No problem. Let us change the image and actions to the align center. And this one is basically hug. So very good. These icons are not doing because we sent them inside. So no worries. The content layer is still fill. Okay. This one, the nav bar is somehow went to this. It has to be fill container. Correct. Now it's behaving correctly. Okay. What else? Done. The screen is done. Correct. The home screen width is currently done. So the width you wanted to decide how the element should behave. For the height, how do you want it for the height? There was some text, black text with it. How should it behave the height? Tell me. How do you decide what should be the height of the screen? Because you're deciding it for an interface. Interface change won't change. Therefore, we're putting it as fixed. We're going to make it as 800. Okay? It's not behaving properly because we gave center aligned. Okay, it should be a top center aligned. Simple. No matter how big, if your screen is small, it will crop off. Screen is long, it'll be on the top because this is fixed. Correct? That's it, Ra. It is basically following our layout goals. Something wrong is happening over here. What do we do? Let's add more layout goals. Resizing is possible, but resizing beyond a point should not be possible. How do we do it? Let us tell it. Beta, dear Raja, you can't do anything like Donald Trump. You have some limits. Okay? We'll define those limits. We said you are fixed width only, but I'll add one minimum width. You can't go beyond 320. And you can't go, maximum also I'll give, right? Max width. How much? 400 and 480 I'll give. Okay? For now. You can't go beyond 480. You can't come below of 320. See what will happen. See, below 320, it is not moving. Above 480, it's not moving. So the screen is only between these two. Correct? Awesome. 360, I'll keep it for now. That's it, guys. Auto layout is done. Let me tell you one thing. If you practice auto layout this well, conception is clear. Have you all understood auto layout finally? Whether you're going to do it or not, it's a different thing. You understood auto layout. Very simple manner. This Raja and Praja example is simply telling you how auto layout is understood. Clear, all of you? You practice auto layout, I'm telling you, you will build the entire screen with auto layout only. I never manually adjust anything on the screen. Everything I leave it for auto layout to decide. I just design the rules of auto layout in such a way that everything automatically knows where to sit. The Raja is so good, has thought about everything so well. The Praja literally know where to sit. No confusion. They don't have to decide, keep searching for which place. That's how I make it. Okay? It'll take time to get there. It's not required also to be that much. But if you practice it so well, because it's very easy, it's actually making our lives easier. Because we don't have to manually keep changing anything. It will change itself. It is one-time effort. First time you'll take effort in deciding those rules. But afterwards, all screens, straightforward. You wanted to add more features, simple. Add to this. Keep adding to this. You want to change the order, you want to put the heading here, simple, one click. Right? Done, changed. It becomes so easy once you actually have clear layout goals, apply those auto layouts, give those rules, sorted. I'm totally exhausted, but I think totally worth it. Covered auto layout in a completely non-textbook manner. Screen completed, auto layout learnt, finally understood for the first time in life.